Hello everyone! In this video, we are going to be talking about how and when we erase when we draw a realistic portrait with pencils. You might be thinking that we are going to talk just about erasers, but I have more to share than just erasers. So with no further ado, let's dive right in. Let's get something out of the way right from the start. The most efficient way to erase is not to erase at all. This is not realistic because you will have to erase for several different reasons, either for correcting mistakes or creating textures. However, if you always have in mind that the ideal situation is to not erase at all, you make decisions that make you erase less. And that is a good thing. I myself am used to thinking that way because I am a tattoo artist. And as you probably know, tattoos cannot be erased. But you do not have to be a tattooer to train yourself on that. I actually trained myself on not erasing as much while I was drawing, and that helped a lot on the tattooing part as well. So, in conclusion, you should try to do less and less mistakes in every new piece you do, and eventually you will reach a point where you will rarely use an eraser to correct mistakes. That will reduce the use of an eraser drastically, as well as the risk of damaging your paper from erasing. Now, in realistic pencil art, we do use all kinds of erasers all the time for creating textures and layers or highlights. This is why it is so important to preserve your paper in top condition, so when you need to use an eraser as a drawing tool, you can, with no second thoughts. Now let's talk about the actual tools. I'm not going to list every eraser in the market. I'm going to save you the time and trouble, and talk about only the erasers that perform best for realistic pencil art. I'm sure you know this guy. The white classic eraser we all grew up with and love. It is not by chance that we use this eraser for pencil for generations. It is trustworthy, it erases amazingly, and it does not hurt the paper if you are not overdoing it. However, the size and shape of this eraser was selected for general use. For drawing, this is not suitable for everything that you will be needing to erase. If it is a big area that you need to erase, or a line that you don't have to be precise, it will be fine. However, when you need to be precise and erase fine details, this eraser creates more problems than it solves. Sure, you could shape it accordingly with a sharp knife and be able to work around this problem, but this is wasteful for the materials as well as your time. This is why a lot of companies try to solve this problem by creating erasers using the same material but shaped in a way to be more accommodating to artists' needs. That brings me to these tools right here. The Mono Zero eraser is the star of the show. This is a very smart idea and very well executed. It works just like a mechanical pencil. You can get refills and the build quality is exceptional. This is the tool I use the most, as it is very precise and can be very precise even when you use it heavily. There are other options with the same principles applied, like this one, which uses thicker eraser, but obviously it is not as precise. This really is a perfect little tool to have, and I highly recommend it. I'm not sponsored or anything at all. I am genuinely loving this product, and that is why I am suggesting it to you. However, if you want to support me, you could buy it through the affiliate links I have from Amazon in the description below. There are no added costs for you, but I will get a very small commission. Every little bit helps. Now, there is one eraser that can be as precise as the Mono eraser, or even more precise. However, it comes with a limitation. I am talking about the kneadable eraser. It was created with charcoal in mind, however, it works perfectly with pencil as well. The paste-like eraser can be molded in the shape you want, so you can be very precise, and with just a touch, it lifts a lot of graphite off the paper. When it is so dirty that it is unable to lift any more graphite, you mold it again, and the surface cleans itself, and you can reuse it. Also, it does not leave any residue behind. This is something that I love about this eraser, because having to remove residue from your art can be scary. The problem with this eraser, though, is that because it is so easily molded, you cannot put pressure at all, especially when you are erasing details. That is because the pressure damages your molding, thus changing the size of the area being erased. And that is when you go back to mono-zero. That is why I always say that tools are made to help us achieve our goals. Every tool is there for a specific job, and you should know its strengths and weaknesses so you can use it in its full potential. The very same thing that I described as a weakness for the kneaded eraser can be a strength on a different situation. For example, because of the molding capabilities and stickiness, you can use the kneaded eraser to lift graphite softly on bigger areas if you need to, with great control, without getting erasing marks. Something that is extremely difficult to achieve with any of the other types of erasers. Now, here are the information that is not talked about in many videos about erasing. There are two tools that I love using as erasers, although the word eraser does not fit perfectly. You cannot totally erase something off the page, however, you can drop a value or two. And not only that, but it can be done smoothly and with no damage to the paper. These tools are clean Q-tips and soft brushes. I usually use the soft brush when I want to tone down a very dark application, like a 9B pencil. The soft brush scrubs some of the graphite off the paper, thus giving me the ability to drop a few values. For the other extreme, in very light applications, I find that even the kneaded eraser is not able to do very smooth erasing. So I use clean Q-tips to softly lift the graphite off the paper, passing over it as many times as necessary. With these two last special tools, I have every possible situation covered. These tips came from hundreds of hours of drawing, so I'm very confident that you will find them useful too. Now, one last option I want to mention is using an airbrush. Not everyone owns an airbrush, but if you do, you should know that you can use your airbrush to lift some graphite off your paper, and that the airbrush is the best way to remove eraser residue off the paper. Obviously, you're not going to buy an airbrush just for that, but if you already own one, you have one more use for it. I hope you found this video useful, and I would like to know if you have another way to erase or an exotic tool that we should all know about. Leave a comment down below. If you would like to support this channel, you can comment, like, subscribe, and turn the notifications on so you do not miss an upload. That's it for today, guys. See you on the next one.